Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Earthen Pots, a poem by O.N.V. Kurup. Earthen Pots was first written in Malayalam and later translated from Malayalam by K. Sridharan Nair. O.N.V. Kurup was born on May 27th in 1931 at Chavarakollam in Kerala to O.N. Krishna and K. Lakshmikutti Amma. He is a Malayalam poet, prose writer and lyricist. O.N.V. Kurup's full name is Ottaplaval Neelakandan Velu Kurup. He received the Padma Shri Award from the Government of India in 1998. Most of his works speak on behalf of those in darkness and attempt to break the chains of oppression. In Earthen Pots, he employs the symbol of earthen pots to talk about individuals who are seen as merely a mass and as lacking any significant value in themselves. Throughout the poem, Kurup illustrates indistinguishable earthen pots that are at the mercy of those customers who choose to buy them. He has divided the poem into two sections or stanzas, and though both are about pots, the first section centers only on two pots, while the second section moves on towards hundreds of pots. The poet discusses about the relationship between the pots, their attachment to each other, and the sense of loss when their companions were bought by somebody. Likewise, they are with the expectation that one day somebody would purchase them. He also examines the notion of their worthlessness and speculates on the possibility of unknown destinies which might just possibly include something momentous. Throughout the metaphor, the poet looks the life of earthen pot at the life of humans eagerly waiting for their salvation, desiring for God to reach the perfection. Though never stated outright, underlying the entire poem is the concept of man as essentially a thing of earth. Each pot has a useful function. It makes the water stored pure and unpolluted. In the same way, each human has a role and function which is to be appreciated. Now we'll see the poem. How long have we remained here thus? Two empty earthen pots gazing at each other close by in the potter's yard. Now two pots are kept close by each other in the potter's yard. Potter is a person who has made them, and since they are placed close to each other, they have remained there for a long time, and because they are next to each other, they keep gazing at each other. So close that softly brushing each against each other and not quite sure whether touching or not. These pots are kept so very close to each other that they are not sure whether they are touching each other or not, because they are kept so close to each other, just brushing each other. Gazing at each other in inexhaustible zest, we two earthen pots. And these two pots are never tired of looking at each other. They have been looking at each other for a long time, and they don't know how many more days they are going to keep looking at each other, but that has not made them tired. They are in the same way how they were when they were kept on the very first day. Now he continues saying, those who from golden goblets drink red wine may dismiss us in contempt and extreme scorn. Now he says rich people who drink red wine in golden cups, they may look at these earthen pots with scorn because they are very, very cheap, very simple. For we are made for the poor simple folk. Because we earthen pots are made only for the poor people, only for the simple people. We are cheap and may break easily. So it says the pots are very cheap, and if they are not handled properly, they will easily break. Yet we are good enough to store the blessed gift of earth, water, clear and pure within our hold unpolluted. But though we are cheap, Though we are made for the poor people, we are the only one who are good enough to store water, which is the blessed gift of the earth. And how do we hold it? We hold it clear, pure, and unpolluted. As long as the water is with us, is within our hold, it will be clear, pure, and unpolluted. This no one else can take this credit, only the earthen pots can do it. Now, in the next stanza, though we are mere earthen pots, even our makers do not know where tomorrow we shall be. Now, the pot maker is making the pots, but he does not know who is going to buy us, where we are going to be the next day. We are only ordinary pots, but we have so many things within us. Like that, hundreds like us who are crowded here are waiting for some unknown buyer. Now, in the first stanza, we saw only two pots gazing at each other. But now, the poet shows hundreds of pots. And all these pots are waiting for a long time. And why they are waiting is, they are waiting for the buyer who will come and buy them. And how will this buyer buy them? To lift us up one by one and hold us to the ear, and with the finger stroke quality test us by the sound. And how will this buyer buy them? He will lift one by one pot and hold the pot near his ear, and with a finger stroke he will do quality test, and from that sound he will recognize whether the pot is in a good condition, whether there are no cracks in it, and whether how strong it is, and then only he will buy. If satisfied, he buys one and walks away. And when the buyer is satisfied with the pot, he will buy one pot and walk away, followed by a sighs that bind us in one though of woe. And as he is going, all of us will sigh. That is, we will take a deep breath, because we have one sorrow in us, and intense sense of loss of one who was one among us, and one of us takes hold of us. And now what has happened? One pot which has been along with us all these days, now it is going away from us. That loss will make us to sigh, because one person has taken away. And one of us takes hold of us. When does your turn come to depart? And then all of us will look at each other and we will ask, when will your chance come, when you will go from here? And when it comes, who would be the first to leave? And among us, who will be the next who will be leaving this crowd first? The poet ends the poem here. It's a beautiful poem said in a very simple way. If you have anything to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.